Hello. Bonjour, everybody. Can you hear me? See, we have lots of people here today. I'm very, very glad. I see that we have Marietta's here, Sabrina's here, Mary Lynn, Anthony from Texas, Jean-Philippe, bonjour Jean-Philippe, Denise, bonjour, Lisa de Utah, Kodur, Alejandro, hi, hola, Costa, Dave de San Francisco avec du café, très bien, j'ai du thé. Okay, je vois que le... Hey, you should see me now. This is a new software we're using today. It's supposed to be way, way better than the one I used before. So just be nice with me. I don't have all the technical background that I used to have with the other one. So I see that Shelly's here, Eden's here, Marietta's here, Bernadette, Harry, Bill, Simus, Christine, Bettina, Monica. Awesome. David, Adela, Deborah, Janine, Jenny, Dave, John. Bonjour Barbara de Chicago. I will be in Chicago in October, hopefully. Ken, Maria, Johnny, Randall, Ilona from Santa Fe. Oh, hi Ilona. Ilona, I'm very glad you're here. We talked before. Kathy, Sarah, Ellen, Disa, bonjour. Okay. Good. Bonjour Julie. Bonjour Audrey. Okay, I'm just looking. We have 214 people live. That's awesome. We are going to start right now. Okay, we have Nanny Amy who just joined. Okay, very good. It's 4:06 here in Grenoble. The weather is very nice. I'm in the studio, so you can see everything here, and we have a window, which is often surprising. It's not the set that you see on Comme une Française, because we're going to film episodes on Thursday, and before that I have friends who are recording their own videos here. Okay, so here we go. We have Jennifer on the call, and she's my assistant. She's in charge of customer care. She's awesome. If you have any question related to how the course works and how she could help you, she's going to come back to you. So she is here. Okay. Just looking at everything, that you can see everything. So I assume that you won't be able to see me when I show you the slides. And I will see you after for the questions. So we are going to do together a lesson on spoken French that you can use straight away. If you're an expat living in France, you can just take your keys and your coat and buy a goûter, which is the 4 p.m. snack in France, and try the French you just learned. Or you can practice if you have a conversation group, or if you just love French and it's just for the fun of learning the language. Just next time you hear a movie or a radio program, you will understand way much more. So I'm very happy to be with you today. I love being live. It's a bit scary, but it's very exciting. So let's start. Okay, so I'm going to turn on the slides now as soon as I find the button. Okay, so you should see this. So today I'm going to give you 5 real spoken French tips for everyday modern French for everyone, because it doesn't have to be about what you do, why you learn French and everything. It's something that you can apply all the time. Okay, so I'm getting the Okay. Oh, I have technical issues today. Should be fine. Okay, so here we are. So first, I would love to hear from you. Why do you want to improve your spoken French? Because as soon as you have a goal and I know why you want to improve your French, I can help you better. So I would love for you to tell me, why is it important for you to improve your spoken French? So I want to hear from Brian, from Charles, from David, Rachel, Della, Deborah, all of you here. Let me know. Okay. So Jim is going to visit in 2016. Awesome. You can apply your French in 2016. Deborah is going to be spending the last semester of her French Masters in Paris next year. Congratulations. Okay. Audrey says, I want to live in France. Oh, it goes so fast. We have everybody. Neni lives in Paris and wants to communicate better with her client. Can everybody hear me? Valerie says, I can't find friends. I live in France. Natalie says, because Natalie wants a French husband. Emma says, she's a French teacher. Je suis prof de français. Je voudrais être une meilleure prof. Okay. Stuart says, to help with naturalisation. Very, very good. Starting a business as well. Awesome. June is visiting France in September and she wants to be able to speak more confidently. Okay, everybody can hear me. Sorry, it was just Jen telling me she couldn't, so I want to make sure that everybody can. And Lorna lives in France as well. Angela studying abroad. Isidoro went to France and realized it would be really nice to speak French. Very, 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 very good. So all these are awesome goals, and I want you to keep them with you. So you know why you're learning, because just learning for learning is really difficult. For example, Denise says, I want to speak without fear. And this is such a good reason, because speaking French in France can be scary sometimes because people want to help and they're a bit pushy when they want to help you correct your French. So it's better to have good basics and then to move on from that. So a quick word before we start, because I know that we're all busy and some of you won't be able to go through the whole masterclass. So what I offered especially for you guys today is you have a special offer just for you. So if you join the course between now and 2 hours from now, which is around, it's going to be 6 at in French time, and I think it will be 1 p.m. in New York, and then according to your time zone. If you join the course between now and in 2 hours, you will have a special guide, which is awesome. It's called Flory French Phrases. It's even hard for me to say. And it's about funny expressions that you can use, whether you live in France or you visit often, to make French people smile, or if you like to brush up your French or keep your fluency from school, or even like just French because you're a Francophile and you love French. You have funny French expressions. So, for example, we have se faire appeler Arthur, faire un enfant dans le dos, copain comme cochon, maquiller comme un camion volé, etc. And I have an American friend who's been living here for 15 years, and she told me she would love to have this one, so I printed her a copy. And because she didn't know these expressions, and with each expression, you have explanations to go beyond this, and to learn even more of them. So it's not just a list of expressions. It's cultural explanations and details and tons of insider tips. So if you have to go and want to join the course and enjoy this special guide, which is really just for people on the webinar, on the masterclass today, go on. And if you have to go and want to get this guide, you can get it until 2 hours from now. So now let's move on to the lesson itself. So we're going to see 5 real spoken French tips that you can use straight away. So 2 things, we're going to go through simple spoken French tips, and we're going to go through advanced spoken French tips. So whether you're a beginner, an intermediate, or an advanced person in your French level, you can learn something and you can apply. There's nothing to be afraid of if you're more of a beginner, because the advanced will be too advanced for you, but you can get some of it, and I can guarantee this will make wonders for you. So first, the question that I often have is, what is spoken French? Because lots of people think that it's written French that read aloud, but we don't speak French as we write it. It's very, very much like almost 2 different languages. So it's not the same as written French. It's not the same French grammar, vocabulary, and pronunciation. We have different grammar structures, we use different vocabulary, and we don't articulate very well in French. We even eat letters on purpose. So it also has its own rules. So you would use your spoken French in different situations. For example, formal is different from casual, is different from familiar French, slang, and vulgar. And it's important for you to know all of them, not use them. But vulgar French is important to know so you avoid embarrassing situations. And formal can be super useful when you're going to see a doctor, for example. And familiar, slang, and casual will be super helpful to make friends. And one last thing that usually makes the most wonders with students, those things that they come back to me with like stars in their eyes and they're like, oh my God, Geraldine, you changed everything for me, is the cultural scripts that I give students, and that are kind of pre-written phrases, and that you can use and will make wonders, and they don't even have a grammar explanation. So we're going to just do 2 slides in English, and I'm going to switch to French examples. I wanted to show you a book that I love if you are advanced and want to go into colloquial French, to show you that that spoken French is really a different language. So you can check out this book. It's called Colloquial French Grammar Practical Guide. And I wanted to show you there are entire books on spoken French. Why does it matter to speak spoken French? Because if you don't speak it, it's a bit like you're reading textbook French. So it doesn't make sense for people. If you are speaking way too formally, for me, it would be weird. Also, it will help you to understand better, because there are lots of subtleties in movies that you're probably missing right now, and also to be understood. So, for example, if you are saying what I was talking about before, like a few scripts that I can give you, they're going to make a big difference, because people will see that you know French, and it will unlock doors. So now let's move on to the lesson. So first, drop the ne. Okay, so the classic negation is ne plus pas. Okay, ne pas. For example, je suis française, I am French. Je suis française becomes je ne suis pas française. Okay, je ne suis pas française. This is what your high school teacher will teach you. That's absolutely fine, but it's just not what I would say. If I was saying je ne suis pas française, it would imply that I'm kind of mocking the person, or insisting a lot on the fact that I am not. In spoken French, we would remove the ne and we would say je suis pas française. Okay, je suis pas française. As a woman, we drop the ne. And in spoken French, which is to go even deeper into this, we wouldn't say je suis pas française, we would say je suis pas française. So with the sound J, je suis pas française. Some people write it je suis pas française, which is absolutely not correct in terms of writing, but it is what people would say. Je suis pas française would become je suis pas française would become je suis pas française. If you have any question on this, just send it in the chat, and I will take a few questions along the way. So you see, this will make a huge difference, and it has nothing to do with your age or background. It's really more about the situation you're in. So if you are not with a president, or you are not or you are not in a very, very formal situation, this is the French that you would use, okay? Bianca asked the name of the book. Jennifer, can you send her the name of the book, please? It was, I can send it to you afterwards. It's a very good book, but don't buy it if you're not advanced enough. And then we go with the same thing with j'aime les croissants. I wanted to show you this example because we have l'apostrophe, okay? J'aime les croissants. J'aime les croissants. I love croissants. That's pretty straightforward. It would become je n'aime pas les croissants, okay? Je n'aime pas les croissants. And again, we remove the N apostrophe this time because there is no ne, and it becomes j'aime pas les croissants, okay? J'aime pas les croissants. And this is very straightforward. There is nothing here that I can tell you beyond how it's written, because the spoken French would be the same. J'aime pas les croissants. But again, it's spoken quite fast. J'aime pas les croissants. And this can be a bit confusing. If you only know very slow French, you might not understand. But now you know, and you will be used to it. J'aime pas les croissants. Let's move on to a more advanced example. Drop the ne works for other negations too. Ne et plus, okay? It means not anymore. For example, je vais au cinéma. I go to the cinema. Je vais au cinéma. And the negation of it is je ne vais plus au cinéma. I don't go to the cinema anymore, okay? Je ne vais plus au cinéma. Je ne vais plus au cinéma. If we drop the ne, we say je vais plus au cinéma. Je vais plus au cinéma. Why did I say it was more advanced? Because the plus can be a bit confusing, I know, for lots of students. So if you say plus, it means more. Plus with the S, ça veut dire more. And if you say plus without the S, it means not anymore. So here, what we're talking about is I'm not going to the cinema anymore. So we say, je ne vais plus au cinéma. Okay? If we're talking about spoken French, which is the purpose of the lesson, we would drop the E. We would eat the E. And I would say, je vais plus au cinéma. Je vais plus au cinéma. I don't go to the cinema anymore. Je vais plus au cinéma. You see? It can be a bit confusing because if you don't know that we eat the E in spoken French, you might understand vais plus au cinéma, which means no go to the cinema, which doesn't mean anything. But now you know that we eat the E. Again, another more advanced point is ne plus jamais. Okay, it's I don't do it ever. Ne plus jamais. Je fais du vélo. Okay, I ride my bike. Je fais du vélo. The negation of this is je ne fais jamais de vélo. I don't ride my bike ever. Je ne fais jamais de vélo. If you are a bit advanced in grammar as well, you can see that the negation of du becomes de. But again, if you're a beginner or intermediate, don't worry about this. Also, I will send you the slides if you want. So no worries about taking too many notes. Je fais du vélo, je ne fais jamais de vélo. Okay. And if you remove the ne, it becomes je fais jamais de vélo. You can say en ville, in town. Je fais jamais de vélo. Okay. So this is what you would hear in spoken French. Je fais jamais de vélo. Je fais jamais de vélo because we eat the both I. Je fais, okay, instead of je fais, et de vélo, we say de vélo. Okay. Vanessa says, that explains plus de pain. Okay. Yes, it means there is no there's no bread anymore. If you say plus de pain, it means more bread. I know that students are very surprised when they hear that French people eat so many letters. The second point is, do you have any question about the ne, by the way? I'm going to take one or two if you guys have questions. Very, very good. Okay. Okay, so I'm going to move on. Okay, perfect. Jennifer just reminded me that, yes, if you have questions and you have to go, or questions about the course that you wish to ask, you can book a call with my team and you can ask them any question you like. So you have the link on the top of the chat. It goes to a Calendly link where you can book Jennifer and she will email you. Andrew asks if I'm going to send a copy of the slides. The answer is yes. I will send a copy of the slides to all the attendants, to all the people who are watching the replay now, which is on Tuesday and after, and also a replay of the webinar. So no worries at all. Okay, let's move on to the next point. Something that usually surprises people because they don't want to use it. It's instead of using nous, okay, which is us, you can use on instead, okay? On. On is like il and elle is the third person of the singular. So, for example, instead of saying nous allons à la plage, we're going to the beach, we would say on va à la plage. On va à la plage. It's supposed to be indefinite, like one does this or one does that. But instead, in spoken French, it's really used instead of us. Okay, nous allons à la plage, on va à la plage. Be careful though, because nous will always agree as la première personne du pluriel. Nous allons à la plage. But on equals il, which is la troisième personne du singulier. On va, okay, which is both the same verb. It means to go, aller. This will make wonders in your French, in your spoken French. You can also use it in written French. It was a student, well, she was called Jennifer as well. She's a very, very dedicated student. She was asking me about written French. Absolutely, you can use this in written French as well. And it will show that you speak spoken French and it can make a difference. If it's the first time you're contacting someone, I recommend you use nous. But after that, you can use on, because the relationship grows. This is a very, very important point in spoken French, is that the French you use will depend on how long you've known each other. But this is the topic of another course. If you're more advanced, something very interesting with on is that the rule is that the past participle, sorry, this is hard for me to say, agrees with the subject, okay? On est tombé dans un trou en rentrant à la maison. If you are several people, on est tombé dans un trou en rentrant à la maison. We fell in a hole while going home. It would be EES if you're several women. Okay, on est tombé dans un trou. You were several women walking back home and you fell in a hole. The third point I wanted to show you is about inversion. So this is going to be either a relief because it's easier than you thought, or it's going to be a disappointment because you learn all this for nothing. So don't use this in exams. So if you're studying French at university or high school, forget some things of what I'm talking about, because it's really about spoken French and everyday French, not something that people expect you to use in exams. So for example, lots of teachers will teach you où es-tu, where are you, où es-tu. So we call this l'inversion du sujet et du verbe, because you say, Où es-tu? So you use verb and then subject. Où es-tu? But no one ever uses that. We say tu es où? Tu es où? Okay, so as you can see, it's just a phrase, a sentence that we add an interrogation mark at the end. A question mark at the end. And in spoken French, again, the way I would say it is t'es où? T'es où? I would eat the U and say t'es où? T'es où? Okay? And to give you a bit of a cultural background, which is very, very important in general for Commune Française and especially in the courses because we go way deeper, is that I'm giving you a bit of cultural background. If you say où es-tu, if a French person says it, because for a foreigner, we will understand that you don't know the background. But for a French person, it will sound formal and stiff and sometimes a bit arrogant to do the inversion because it's very, very formal French. So it can be misinterpreted. However, it can be used if you know the exact situation that is supposed to be used. For example, in games, okay, or where it's nursery rhyme, as you say in English. We say une comptine in French, okay? And in this kind of situations, this kind of formal, old-fashioned French is used, but not everywhere. And if you are a bit more advanced, the structure où est-ce que tu es, où est-ce que tu es, okay, becomes tu es où, but the right structure, où est-ce que tu es, would be used by parents, for example, where they're angry with their kids. There's so many spoken French grammar structures that are almost dedicated to parents being angry. I could write a book on this. Lois asks a very good question. She says, on pourrait dire où t'es. Absolutely. We could say où t'es. Especially for this example. So this is a very, very good question, Lois, because it applies especially to these very, very short kind of questions. Okay? Où es-tu can very, very well become où t'es. Okay? Où t'es ou t'es où both work because it's so short that they apply both sides. Very good point, Lois. The fourth point I wanted to go through with you is something that Marisha says, Papa où t'es, which is the title of, I lost his name. You have to remind me his name. Stromae, yes, I remember. Stromae's song, very, very famous one called Papa où t'es, which means Daddy, where are you? It's about a child who's abandoned by his dad. Oh, lots of people know him. Josh Madison, Marija, Jugba, Bianca, and Costa. Thank you. I had a brain freeze. So absolutely. Very, very good. I'm glad you know them. You know him. He's awesome. And excellent, excellent French. And he's from Belgium. So it's some letters. We talked about this, I showed you how spoken French was going to be used opposed to written French, just in the few examples before. But it also applies to entire words. So we just saw tu es où, that becomes t'es où, okay? But un appartement is almost something I would never say. I would say un appart, okay? And as you can hear, I'm saying the last T, un appart, okay? Un appart, for un appartement. Again, for un après-midi, which is an afternoon, you would say un après-midi ou une après-midi. If you're a bit more advanced or very curious about French, après-midi is like enfant, child. It can be used on both genders. You can say un enfant ou une enfant. Une enfant would apply obviously to a girl, but un enfant is not gender specific. Okay. And après-midi can be used on both genders. You can say une après-midi ou un après-midi equally. It works. Maria asks, is this correct to use this in writing? If you're writing to a friend, for example, what time you have to be at your place? À quelle heure on se retrouve à ton appart? You can use it. If you are writing to a landlord, don't, because you would use a formal French in writing. Excellent question. Cassie says, no, pas d'accent grave dans après-midi. For this, I don't really have an answer because it's not something, I wouldn't say it's not something you are supposed to write because it goes in contradiction with what I just said to Maria, but I'm not sure there's a written French form for this spoken form of après-midi. So it's up to you to decide how you write it. There's no pressure on putting E accent aigu. I myself would not put it, but if you put it, it's absolutely fine. And it would, if you use it, it would show that you know what you're talking about. So that's a very, very question, and it's up to you to choose it. And using it shows that you know what you're talking about. So perfect. So in spoken French, letters and syllables are cut or eaten. And this is one of the reasons why French people speak so fast. So either it's the reason or the cause, but it's why spoken French can be so hard to understand, because people speak fast, plus they eat letters and cut syllables. So if you don't know that un appart is un appartement, it might be a bit surprising, but it's not difficult. You just have to know it. And this is why learning real as fast or native spoken French is so important. So if you are learning French with the slow French method, which is a very, very, very good way to familiarize yourself with the right pronunciation, so that's an excellent method, don't forget to get used to fast spoken French in programs or movies or whatever way you like, but don't put it on the side just because you struggle with it, or you would be very, very, very surprised on the first time you speak to someone. Robert says, should a beginner try to learn these spoken French rules now after learning the basics? That's a good question, Robert, because there's so many things to learn. The 5 tips I'm giving you here, if you're just looking at the basics, not the advanced stuff, it's something that would be very useful to know now, just because you are aware of how it works. It doesn't have to be something that you learn by heart stupidly. You wouldn't do that. I know that you wouldn't do that, Norbert, but don't freak out if there's something you don't understand, but at least you know that if you're a beginner and you are learning French with a method, and then you switch on the TV and put on some French subtitle and someone says, bon après-midi, on se retrouve à ton appart, very fast, and by cutting letters, you're not lost, because you know that even as a beginner, you know that these words are cut and it's absolutely normal. Does it help? I see that Jacqueline says, can you say bon après-midi? Absolutely. I say that all the time. So as we saw on the third line, you can say une après-midi, which is feminine, or un après-midi, which is masculine. So you can write it, as you said, bon après-midi, B-O-N, après-midi, or B-O-2-N-E, B-O-N-N-E, après-midi, as in feminine, and they're absolutely the same. So very good question. You can say that all the time. Well, in the afternoon, obviously, and it works. Okay, Stuart is talking about the aperitif, I assume. Okay, so we are going to move on to the next thing. And the fifth thing that I usually teach very, very early, whatever your level, is how to expand your greetings. Because in France, and in Belgium and Switzerland as well, Francophone countries, greetings are extremely important. As you know, customer care is not the same in France as it is in the US and in many, many other countries. We don't take customer care for granted. It's very annoying sometimes, but the social rules are extremely important, even to get your customer care done right. So saying bonjour when you arrive and au revoir when you leave are extremely important. Whether it's with friends or even in a shop in France. It can be very surprising, but I enter a shop, whatever shop it is, I always say bonjour, okay? So to expand your greetings, and yes, no, because yes and no can be very dry, oui and non, and sometimes you want to carry more nuances and subtleties than just oui and no, which are a bit awkward. So let's go through a few, which will make huge difference because people will say, hey, she or he knows what she's talking about. So bonjour is the easiest one. As usual, don't split it into two words, okay? Bonjour, one word. Hello. Bonsoir, goodbye. Good evening, sorry. Good evening. Just if you're a bit more advanced, bonjour will always be at the beginning. Bonsoir can be at the beginning and the end. As in good evening, hi, hello, and good evening, goodbye. Bonsoir, bonjour, never, okay? For bonjour at the end of a chat, it would be bonne journée, have a good day. If you're more friendly with the person or you're younger, like before 20, you can say salut, okay, salut, or even after that, but just in a friendly situation, salut, hi, or coucou, which is more of a hello, coucou. Again, I saw that many, many times. Don't cut it in two words. Don't say coucou. It's just coucou together. And it's not couscous either, okay? No. Couscous is a meal from North Africa, delicious one, but it's not a greeting in French. Coucou. If it's the end of the chat, you can say bonne journée, have a nice day during the day. So it would be before 6 p.m. After 6 p.m., you would say bonne soirée, have a good evening, bonne soirée. Again, if you are not advanced, if you're a beginner, keep bonjour et bonsoir for the beginning of the chat, bonne journée and bonne soirée for the end. Always. Don't mix them. Salut and coucou are equally useful at the beginning of a phrase. And what was I going to say? They're equally friendly at the beginning of a phrase and they're not to be used at the end. If you are more advanced, you can use salut at the end of the conversation, just like if you noticed at the end of the episodes on Comme une Française TV on YouTube and the blog, I say allez, salut, goodbye, as in it's another way to say goodbye, but it's not supposed to be used in written French. So again, just keep this for advanced people. Don't freak out over this one. Use it at the beginning if you're a beginner. Emma says, je dis toujours salut et j'ai 29 ans. J'ai 31 ans. I'm 31 and I use it all the time. So there is nothing to be worried about, Emma. I'm the same as you. But don't use salut at the bakery. That's weird. Really just keep it to your friends and people in the same, how would I say, circles. So don't use it with a doctor or baker or even a teacher. Perfect. Very, very good. And again, as I tell all my students, don't freak out if you make mistakes. People are impressed that you're trying to learn, so it's fine. Don't be ashamed. It just happens. Now you know. Something super important that some people tell me that didn't know after 30 years in France is don't say bonjour twice. Bonjour is reserved for the first greeting of the day, as in, I notice you, I'm wishing you a good day. Never ever say bonjour to the same person during the same day because the cultural implication is that you forgot that you saw them. So if you told me bonjour in the morning and then in the afternoon, I would say, we've already met, okay? On s'est déjà vu. We already met, on s'est déjà vu. If you are in writing or even spoken French, you can say re ou re-bonjour. Some people never say re. I write it in friendly emails. I would say it sometimes, but I would rather say re-bonjour, okay? Re-bonjour, which is bonjour again, but not bonjour on its own. Or here I am back, me revoilà, okay? Me revoilà. You can say c'est encore moi, it's me again. It's me again, okay? Or something else that is funny is that in French, it's better to say nothing than to say bonjour again. So you can just, for example, wave your hand. Okay, say hi, okay, with your hand and say hello with your hand or smile. It's way better than say bonjour again. Joy Verdia says, what is quand même stand for? I often hear French people say it. I'm not going to go into this right now because it's way too complicated to explain. We are going to do an episode on Thursday on this, so you should see it mentioned very soon in the upcoming weeks. It's a very, very cultural thing, and I don't want to explain it badly right now. I'd rather explain it properly later. So if you're looking for a good reference, I recommend Word Reference. And then you will have several answers. Ron says, quand même equal nevertheless, usually. It's not bad, but it's very culturally complicated. So again, it's a good idea. It's a rough good idea to say nevertheless, but it's so subtle that I'd rather not go through it today. Sorry. Doug says, whoa, I think that thing saved my life last year in Nantes. Une collègue said to me that and said that to me, and I remembered it from one of your videos. Yes, it's a huge difference. And as I was telling you, a friend of mine who's been here for 30 years, it's another friend. She's from the UK. I think she told me she didn't know that. So it just happens. So you can say, me revoilà, here I am again, or c'est encore moi. Another thing, don't ever hug a French person. This is something we mentioned before. It's not about spoken French, but it's kind of a social rule. And thing is, hugging is as frightening for French people as the bise is for other people. So for me, doing la bise to anyone is not an issue, but I know that hugging makes me super uncomfortable. I'm pretty fine because I'm a Latino. My mother is Mexican, so I'm used to it. But I know a friend who's married to an American. She cannot hug her in-laws. It makes her it's too weird for her. So don't hug a French person unless they ask for it, because they will freeze. They won't take it badly. They'll just be very surprised. If we want to go deeper on yes, no, which will make a difference because you can be more subtle, the spoken French version of oui will be ouais. Okay, so it's kind of the same word. I'm just taking the mic closer to my mouth. Oui and ouais, okay, ouais are a bit different. Ron asked, what is the proper bise order? Right cheek first. Just depends on where you live. I think that here in Grenoble, it's left first. You go left first, but it will depend on where you live. This is why it's so tricky. And about la bise, it's as embarrassing for us as it is for you. So don't take it personally if you don't make it properly. Even I struggle because it will depend on where the people are from and how many bises they do. Here in Grenoble, we do 2, if I remember from this morning. But I'm so used to it that I don't even know how many. I just do it. Then we're going to go through another one. A more formal one will be volontiers. Okay, volontiers. It means I would love it. Okay, it's a bit formal, but I use it. I use it when I want to be extra polite. For example, when someone offers me something and I say I would love to, I would say volontiers. Okay, avec plaisir is with pleasure. Okay, my pleasure. Again, it's a tiny bit formal, but when you want to be polite, I always say that there's no limit to be formal when you want to show that you are interested. Pourquoi pas is why not. Okay, so again, instead of saying just oui, you can say ouais or volontiers. Okay, or avec plaisir, my pleasure, or pourquoi pas, why not? And this gives lots of nuances to your French. If we want to go with non, the spoken French version of non is non, okay? Non and non. Not now would be pas maintenant, okay? Pas maintenant, which means you don't say no for now, but maybe later. And ça ira merci, okay? Ça ira merci. Ça ira is it will be okay, okay? Ça ira, merci, it will be okay, thank you. Also in restaurants, that's very, very linked to restaurants or a meal, for example. It's all about the table. If I want to say no, I don't want another serving or I don't want more wine, I would say merci, wave my hand in front of my glass of wine, for example, and it will indicate the fact that I don't want it. So a cultural thing is that merci in French can mean no. Okay, it means It's like the no thank you without the no. So in French, we would just squeeze it. I'm going to go through a few questions. Nelly says, I have learned so much about French culture with you and realized how many mistakes I made to the people I met. No worries, that's okay. It just makes fun anecdotes. Josephine says, I hugged my French prof last summer and she was so shocked, scared. She was gracious about it, but I still feel bad. There is nothing to be feeling bad about. It was good intentioned. You didn't have any bad intention towards her, and I'm sure she understood. What I'm showing you is just the fact that now you realize that it's not something that we react very well to. And again, she didn't think you were insulting her or assaulting her. She was just surprised, and it's something we're not used to. Just like if I do la bise to an American who's not used to it, that's the same. Joe says refer to Paul Taylor's video on la bise. Absolutely. Paul Taylor, I went to see him on a stand-up show in December. He was very, very, very interesting. So check out his video on YouTube on la bise. Paul Taylor, he's from the UK, and he shows the fun stuff about la bise in French. And he says, I remember extending my right hand first. It was awkward. Give 2 kisses on the cheek straight away. Yes. So Amy, I assume you're a woman because that's your name. I'm not always sure about nicknames in English, so don't be offended if I pick the wrong gender. So Amy, I assume you're a lady like I am. Ladies always do la bise to people, whether it's men or women, unless it's a formal event, such as a professional situation or a doctor or an official. You wouldn't do la bise to the president, for example, but you would do la bise to a friend of a friend, male or female. If you're a man, you would do la bise to women, and you wouldn't do la bise to men unless you've known them for like 2, 3, 5 years. And certain men, not all the time, all of them. So it's way easier for women than it is for men. And he talks about this in his video on la bise. Jean-Philippe says, I visited my relatives in France last year. They were not comfortable when I hugged them. Yes, I assume they were surprising. What was the magic phrase, says Barbara, for requesting something in a shop? It's je vais vous prendre. I'm going to write it in the chat because it's so useful. Okay, well, how do I do this? Okay, I'm going to write this to everybody so everybody can see it. Je vais vous prendre. I think we saw this in one of the episodes, which is very, very common in Commune Française. Je vais vous prendre. I'm going to take from you, literally. It's one of these secret, super awesome scripts that you can use tomorrow if you're in France, or next time you're in France, or whenever you're talking to someone you're buying something from, except in a restaurant. Je vais vous prendre, and then you say une baguette, 3 croissants, 18 pains au chocolat, whatever you want. But this is the secret phrase. Ronald, I don't understand your question. You say, but is it green? Oui, avec plaisir wouldn't work, would it? Stuart says, je vais vous prendre. Yeah, not bad. Pretty good, Stuart, you remembered. Maria says, what about if you're in a library and the book you want to buy is not available and you're offered a different one, you will use ça ira merci. Let me think. Ça ira merci. No, I think that ça ira merci is if you are offered more of what you already have. For example, they're serving you. For example, you are at a table, you're having a glass of wine, and the waiter is coming back offering, do you want more wine? Est-ce que vous voulez plus de vin? Okay, est-ce que vous voulez plus de vin? And you would say, ça ira merci. Okay, this is exactly the use of ça ira merci. They're offering you more of what you already have. Denise says, what is the best way to tell a friend you appreciate them? She helps me with my French speaking. You can say, okay, je t'aime in French is only for lovers or children or your close or your family in general. It's about, you don't say that to You don't say that to a friend, for example, for whom you don't have an interest, as in becoming very, very close. You see what I mean? You say je t'aime bien, okay? So if you want to say something, if you want to say I appreciate you, you would say je t'aime bien ou je t'aime beaucoup. As Paul Taylor says in one of his videos, the more words you add after je t'aime, the less meaning it has. Okay, so that's the answer, Amy. What does it mean again? Je vais vous prendre, as Costa was saying, literally means I will take from you, but it means I'm going to buy from you. Don't overthink the meaning. This is why I didn't want to show it here, because we saw it in the French vocabulary and pronunciation program. If you join, you will see that in way, way more details. But right now, all I can say is remember these words and they will make a huge difference. I was referring to use of use. Okay. Ronald, you say, I was referring to the use of yes if it is a certain like, is it green? Avec plaisir wouldn't mean yes. Yes is green. Oui, c'est vert. It was referring to the use of yes if it is a certain like, is it green? Avec plaisir wouldn't mean yes. Yeah, well, avec plaisir is obviously not a direct synonym of oui. It's just in a restaurant, for example, instead of saying just oui, you can say avec plaisir, okay? Or if you have an invitation. Good. Okay, so these are 5 areas that are super, super easy for you to upgrade your French, whether you're a beginner, an intermediate, or an advanced French speaker, and wherever you are. I know that expats use it on the next day after the webinar. They come back to me saying, oh my God, it changed everything at the market. They started speaking French back to me. Or if you're a visitor, I know that a few of you were saying that they're going to come to France in a few months, which is awesome. Try them, try these expressions, and people will smile and start answering back in French and not ever speak English back to you again. And that makes a huge difference. And also, if you just like French for fun, when you watch a movie and people say avec plaisir, pourquoi pas, ça ira, merci, you will understand why they're saying that. You won't be able just to read the words and kind of understand the meaning. You will really see a huge difference. I'm going to take Brian's question. When at a bar or restaurant, when asked by the waiter if you would like another drink, is it correct to say deux de plus? Absolutely, if you're looking for 2 drinks more. If someone invites you, if someone invites you and you want to go, can you say volontiers? Absolutely. That's perfect, Jacqueline. That's absolutely the right way to use it. Ronald, okay, I'm going to... Okay, Bettina, about je vais vous prendre, it means I'm going to buy. Don't overthink it, because you're going to just, as we say in French, make knots in your brain. It just means I'm going to buy from you. Ronald, I'm going to just move on to the next thing. So one very, very important thing that usually my students find out afterwards is that it's not difficult. Spoken French doesn't have to be difficult. It can be a matter of a few words that you know, but you need someone to teach you. So we've got people who've been here for years and like, I took your course and it changed everything. Or I watched your videos on YouTube and it changed everything. So it's really a matter of knowing the right words and having someone to tell you, because you would never, ever, ever pick them on your own. They're very, very hard. Even the simplest one, the first one we saw, a student of mine told me I never saw that people were dropping the ne. And I've been living in Italy for years. So it just helps to have someone tell you. I'm going to take Okay, I'm going to take one more question and then we're going to just move on to program because I don't want to waste anyone's time. It's already been an hour. So Angela asks, if someone wants to take one of the chairs near me, what's the right response to say to someone? Something like, yes, go ahead. You can say, je vous en prie. No, that's a bit too much. I would say, allez-y. Okay, allez-y. A-L-L-E-Z-I. Go on. Okay. So we are done with the lesson that I wanted to show you. If you have to go, you can go. If you want to join the course, you have 1 hour left to have the special guide, Slow French. It's a really great thing, and people love it because it makes it adds some fun to their French, and it's not something that you would hear all the time, but people will love it, and I'm sure they will answer like, where did you learn that? I love it. And it's fun. It's like learning some fun English expressions for me. I'm not going to go through all this because it's all the lessons. I didn't want to take too much of your time. So in the course, if you want to join in the next upcoming hour, you have this special guide. So the course is made of 20 lessons. It's 4 modules. It's really great. You can have access to everything right now, nothing to wait. So we go through the on that we saw very, very quickly today, le verbe foutre, which is so important. Les petits mots, all these little words to be more fluent. Cool. I have Bettina asking, is the program suitable for beginners? I have several answers for that. Bettina, you can, if you already know a bit of French, it will help you practice your understanding. If you know another language, it might help. But if you're a complete beginner, I don't recommend it because it will be way too overwhelming and I don't want you to be overwhelmed. So I want this to be done. That's too long. You have everything, lifetime access, so no pressure. You can follow everything at your own pace. So we have all the help you need. So as soon as you log in, we help you. If you need anything, we have a chat. We have all the help you need. Here is what happens when you join the course. You have access to your course French vocabulary and pronunciation, whereas the 2 others will be in gray if you're a new student. And as soon as you join, they will be white and you will have access to them straight away. Okay, so you still have 1 hour to join and get your special offer. I'm going to turn this off so we can chat. Good, here I am back. So I am here for a few more minutes. If you have any questions, we can go through. You have everything you need. Okay, Jenna says, how much is it? It's $199. With this, you have lifetime access, unlimited downloads. It's super handy, no pressure, because I know you're super busy. Usually what the students do is that they go through the lessons they like most because they have a special interest in the restaurant or le on, le ne, or some slang. I know that some people love this slang and swearing lessons, and they want to go through these ones first. So it's up to you. You have access to all the 20 lessons straight away. And again, you still have 1 hour left to join, to get your special guide. I'm going to get this one up. Okay. A few more minutes to answer any of your question. And again, if you have a question that you won't answer, you can book a call with my team. Jennifer will call you back for free. Awesome. I look forward to seeing you on the course. Barbara says, can tell us more about your visit to Chicago in October? I cannot tell you much more. I know it's for work reason, but hopefully we can meet. Andrew says, do you ever recommend Bien Dire? I don't know. Savoir dire, I don't know, but Bien Dire, I do recommend. I was in it some time ago, and it's a very, very, very good resource. So go on. Robert says, I have spoken with Jennifer already about the course. I'm not a complete beginner, and I really like Geraldine because I feel I am really learning real French. Awesome. But if you feel I will be overwhelmed, I will try to learn more before joining. No, because you said you're not a complete beginner. So what happens, what we saw over the years, because this is not, there are someone like, you have 500 students came before you, and this is what we saw. We saw that people like you, Robert, they learned a little bit at the beginning, and then when they're more intermediate, they're going to learn more just by going through the lessons again, and they're going to learn even more when they're more advanced, because there's some stuff to learn, like very, very deep spoken French things to learn for all the levels. So go on, and you have the 60-day money back guarantee. So in case anything goes wrong, you have 60 days to go through all the lessons and just get your money back in case it doesn't suit you. Ronald says, is the program like the masterclass, or is it just online learning? We don't offer masterclasses during the course because it has to be available to everybody. If you think about our friends in Australia who cannot watch it live today, it's online videos for you to go through them as many times as you want. Vanessa says, how much is it in euro? I think it's 188 euros, I would say, Cassie. Also, if you're in the EU, you have VAT on top of that. Unfortunately, it's not me, it's the EU. Says, I would like the flowery French phrases aussi. Yes, you will get it automatically. As soon as you join right now, I will remove the offer in 55 minutes. You will have access to the guide immediately. Maria says, is it recording of this webinar available for sharing? My father-in-law speaks French and I practice with him. I would love to share it with him. We will send a replay tomorrow. Ron says, quand vous êtes à Chicago, venez à Dallas. I won't be able to come to Dallas, but hopefully one day. I see that there are lots of people still here. So if you want to enjoy the course right now, you have 1 hour and 2 minutes. Sorry, I activated it later to join and get your special bonus. It's a very, very cute guide. And there's so much to learn in this. I think I could sell this guide, but I prefer to give it to you for free because it's way more fun. And I prefer to make gift to my students. Good. Yes, Jen says it's 185 euros. The rate changes all the time. So I know how much is it. I know kind of how much is it. Good. So we are here. Don't forget your special offer for today. 1 hour and 3 minutes left. No, it's not 1 hour and 3 minutes left. I'm wrong. It's 1 hour and 4 minutes left to get the special offer. And we are going to take a few questions if you have, and you can answer any email and I will come back to you. Okay. Robert says, one final question before I join with this. Will this also improve my written French? Yes, I think so. Because for each dialogue, you also have a transcript that that comes with each video, a dialogue, and you can go through it and you will spot the words that are important. Lingme says, does it come with notes? For each dialogue, there's a huge commentary by me about the course. So if we go through it, and that's usually what people love, it's the commentary. Cool. Okay, I'm going to show you. I wanted to show it to you. Come on. So for each lesson, this is everything you have. You have a dialogue of actors speaking French at normal pace, which is the way I speak as well, which is normal, fast French. And then you have them speaking in a clearly articulated French. Then you have the text that you can see here. Okay, that's the definition of the image, is not very good. But you have the text in French. So again, it's the way we actually say it. So it's not correct grammar, but it's spoken French grammar. Then you have a translation of it, which is very, very good because sometimes it's not that easy to understand all the words. And then we have a huge commentary by me explaining the dialogue line by line and giving you tips on what to say, what not to say, cultural and insiders tips. Okay, so this is everything you have in each lesson, and you have 20 lessons of those. Bettina says, such a pity that you don't offer a course for beginners. Yes, not yet, because spoken French, the way I'm teaching it, you need the basics already. So I can teach you for intermediates, almost beginners, but complete beginners, I highly recommend you take another kind of class. So yes, it will improve your spoken French, written French, and understanding as well. Okay. I see Veronica asking, what is the difference between your 3 courses? French conversation with confidence, subtle French, and French cultural vocabulary and pronunciation. You can see it as a 3 parts of a big course. The one I'm presenting you today is the first part of the course. It's really about building up your basics, the vocabulary that you would need in spoken French, the pronunciation of spoken French, such as eating the letters, cutting the words, all these kind of things that happens all the time in spoken French. Also for French conversation is more about how to build a conversation, but it's very, very hard to build a conversation if you don't know spoken French at all. And subtle French is about how you build a relationship with a French person, conversation after conversation. However, subtle French is very, very much for intermediate and advanced people only, because it's improv actors, the one that you will see on the course. They are so awesome. They're lovely. And students love them, and they send me messages for them that I pass them along because they live here. And so it's fast spoken French in an improvised situation, where they're going to show you how French people behave in different situations. So I don't recommend this course for beginners or very light intermediate people. And it's really about the articulation of learning spoken French. You take the first one, the second one, and third one, and you will be able to like skyrocket your French like never ever before. Robin says, thank you. I just signed up. Awesome, Robin. Congratulations. I will see you on the course. And keep us posted on your trip. Yes, I will tell people that when I'm going to Chicago, if I am going, fingers crossed. Very, very good. Every time people are still here. I see that you have still some people here. If you want to enjoy the offer, it's now. And if you have questions, you have 2 options. You can ask in the chat or book a call with Jennifer. I know that some students like to ask more questions. That's absolutely normal, because it's a bit scary to join an online course sometimes. And I respect that, and she's a gem. So feel free to book a call with her. She will come back to you for free, and she can go through the course with you. You're welcome, Audrey. Have a good day. It is here. Rakshkanda, very good. So we have a few minutes left to enjoy this special offer. And also, it's something I'm not supposed to tell you, but we welcome, we also welcome students very, very well. So you won't be left in the nowhere. Liz asks, what's your background? You present such... Yeah, Barbara just joined. Awesome. Welcome, Barbara. Liz says, what's your background? You present such a stellar program. Oh, thank you. That's so nice. I'm going to come back to good. Yes, hi, I'm back. So if you want to join, you still have less than an hour. Don't miss it, because I'm always so sad when students come to me by email and say, I'm sorry, I missed it. But by respect for others, we don't extend offers. So what is your background? Your quality of your presentation is so impressive. Oh, thank you, Liz. That's so kind. My background is that my mother is Mexican. She's always had issues with French, and I experienced racism towards her I wouldn't say all my life, but I saw people being mean to her because she didn't speak perfectly. And now I'm trying to share my knowledge of French with others so they can enjoy it. Also, I used to live in the UK. I lived there for 2 years and worked, and I struggled integrating. People were very, very nice. I had an awesome time, but I didn't know the little nuances and subtleties of the language and the behavior, and now I'm just teaching it to you. Okay, I see. Hélène says, je pense que Géraldine a dit qu'on ne dit pas bonne journée à la fin. Yes, Hélène, we say bonne journée à la fin. It's bonjour that we don't say at the end. Bonjour is just for the beginning of the chat, and bonne journée, have a nice day, it's at the end. Isidoro says, I joined through PayPal, but I don't see any confirmation. Jennifer, can you come back to Isidoro on that? I'm sure it's a typo thing. It's going to be fine, Isidoro, I'm sure. Brian asked, do you speak Spanish? Sí, hablo español. I speak Spanish as well. You are still so many people here. So I'm going to stay with you because it's fun. If you have any questions, just let me know. Here to help. We are not, it's not a hit and run, as I say. It's a word I learned. We are super in touch with our students, and sometimes they're a bit surprised because they'll buy something online and people take care of them. Okay, Andrew says the book on colloquial grammar is $62. Wow, that's Amazon sometimes. It's a bit weird. Maybe you can find it on Kindle, I don't know. Babioli says, I'm getting a repeat from earlier about kissing French people. How? Oh, why do we have nothing here? This one. Advanced beginner. I guess I bought your course. Awesome, Robert. I'm so happy. That's so cool. Welcome, Robert. Nini says, I speak Spanish too. It has helped me a lot to speak French faster. Yes, it's helped so much because so many things are the same. Costa, how can I practice my spoken French if I don't live in a francophone country? I recommend italki. I recommend italki. Can you see that? The chat is not working very well on my side. italki is I talk, and it's very, very good. Lots of students use that. We are kind of working on something with them. I hope it works out. I'm not 100% sure, but it's a very, very good way to practice with someone. Barbara, pourquoi vous avez un ancien téléphone au 7 de Commune Française? Parce que j'aimais bien. Because it makes me laugh. And this phone is exactly the same as my grandmother used to have in her house. So it's not this one, but when I found it in Une Brocante flea market, I bought it because I love it. And it's like having my grandmother on the set. In your opinion, is the book on colloquial French outdated if it was published in 2000? Joe asks. If you were talking about the book I recommended, it's the only book I found that was theorizing spoken French. So I don't know for lots of others, but I know that this one is extremely good. Maybe some very, very few words would be, but it's absolutely worth it. And I know that some books from the 80s and 70s would be outdated, but this one not. Liz recommends the Abe book. Okay, Abe books for the book on colloquial grammar. It's $11. Cool, thank you, Barbara. Gemma has to go. Good, have a good day. Bonne journée. Liz says, merci de nouveau. Il faut que j'y aille. Bonne journée. Bonne journée, Liz. Amy says, I'm in France learning French at Greta, but spoken French is different. I wish Jen will call me to go through the course before I purchase. I want to understand all the people around me, especially our colocataire. She speaks French too fast. Yes, Amy, if you booked a time slot on Calendly, she will come back to you if you left your and call. If there's anything else, she will email you. So absolutely, and she's a gem. I look forward to you speaking to her because she's awesome. Bettina says, do I understand it's right that even though I am more or less of a beginner, I could buy the course now and study with it later once my French has improved? Yes, absolutely, Bettina. You have lifetime access to the course. You can review it now, in 2 years, in 3 months. And as I was saying, which is, you are asking a very good question, it's that some students study now, like in 2 weeks, then they go through the lessons again when they're more advanced, and then again when they are very, very good at French, because they go and pick some details. Have a good day, Misty. Bonne journée, June. Awesome, June. Welcome to the course. Bonne journée, Néni. Okay, we still have some questions. If you do, come on. That's the right time to ask questions. If you want to join, you still have, how long do you still have? 50 minutes. Tony says the colloquial French book is available at a free download. I don't know if it's a safe site. Yes, thank you, Tony. I'm not sure either. Maybe indeed buying it would be good, but having a look at it might be a good idea. Thank you, Tony. Robert says, bonne journée, I enjoyed every minute, have a good day. Bonne journée, Robert. À bientôt. Georgie asks, Geraldine, can you suggest French films and musics? Yes, sure. In the course, you have a guide with lots of resources on films and music that I recommend for all the levels. If you're looking for a French movie right now and you haven't seen Intouchable, I highly recommend it. Bienvenue chez les Ch'tis as well. They're very light comedies, so whatever your level, you will enjoy them. And for musics, there's so many. Aldebert is very good. And then on top of that, it's really about what you like in terms of music. But French music is a very good way to learn French, because in French music, it's a bit like poetry. So the lyrics are as important as the music. I'm staying here if you have any question. Again, see that we have still some people here, and that's very, very exciting. Still 48 minutes left to join and get the free guide. flowery French phrases. I don't know why this is so blurry. It's perfect on my screen. If you have any question, we're here. I see that Sonia is a member. Awesome. Welcome, Sonia. That's good. I will see you on the lesson 1. Leave a comment on the welcome lesson so I can welcome you properly and with all the greetings you deserve. There's no hurry. I'm here. Any question you have? I know it's a bit... I know when there's these offers, I want them, but sometimes I don't have my card. I have to find it. So we are here. Tony says, I need to learn where the accented letters are on my keyboard. There's an episode on this, but it's way easier than you think, so no worries. We have still some time. Au revoir, Denise. De rien. Bonne journée. And if you are trying to buy via PayPal, you have to click on checkout with PayPal and then enter your identification, your card details of PayPal account. Isidoro says, I'm worried because I may have paid twice. It's fine, Isidoro, no worries. Jen is going to look into this for you. I just got her on the phone right now and she will have a look. I see that there's some people trying on the web form. So we have, if you have any question, any issue with checkout, let us know. I know that Jen is already working on welcoming people. Isidoro, no worries, we're going to come back to you. If you have any issue, you can email me, answer any email, and we'll come back to you. I'm sure it's all fine. See, we are a couple of people buying right now. You still have 45 minutes left. It's okay. Georgie has to go. Au revoir, Georgie. Can we expect more live classes? I'm not supposed to tell you that, but look out for an email on Thursday. Maybe something will appear very, very soon on live classes. Again, I'm not supposed to tell you because I'm not ready yet, but some things should come on Thursday. It will be completely different from this course, though. This course goes way, way deeper. Okay, I'm waiting for the people who are still joining. I can see you on the forum. If there's anything, any question you have, you can book a call with my team. They will come back to you for free. You still have some minutes left. Awesome. Ariston joined. Keith joined. June. Oh, that's so cool. Okay. Isidoro, it seemed that the payment went through just once. No worries. I'm interested, but I can't buy now. Is it going to be available later? David, I don't know when I'm going to reopen it. Probably once this year, but I cannot promise anything. And again, I know that you said you cannot buy now. In case you wish to, you can access it later. However, if you cannot buy it, I understand 100%. Sometimes life is a bit complicated. So it will be reopened later. However, if you're looking for this price right now, this is the only option you have. Ok. Au revoir, Karl. À bientôt. Oh, I see that you joined. Awesome. Bonne soirée, Karl. Okay, I don't want to leave you guys because I know that some of you are buying right now. I don't want anybody left behind. Okay. Shelly's just joined. Félicitations, Shelly. Je suis très fière de toi. Bravo. You have two options. You can pay by card or you can pay with PayPal because we wanted everything super safe. When will the next live masterclass be held? I don't know. It's not something that I do. It's something that was super special for today. So who knows? As I was telling, I don't know whom, Georgia, yes. On Thursday, expect something that I cannot talk about yet, but there will be some live lessons offered. There will be very limited availability because it's just something that we are going to try and offer to a limited number of people. But if students like masterclasses, why not? Sounds like fun. "41 minutes left." I will remain here if you have questions. It's funny because the students we just had on the chat are already enjoying the course. They're on lesson, I know that's lesson 14 seems to be popular. So if you have any question, feel free to ask because I'm here, Jen's here as well. We're here to help. And I don't want anyone to be left behind. À bientôt, Joy Verdi. À bientôt. Cool. We still have 38 minutes left. If you have any question, I'm going to go now because I have to take care of the students who just joined. And you still have 38 minutes left if you want to enjoy this special offer, which is really for masterclass attendance. Okay, I'm going to go in 2 minutes, and then I will be able to take care of the students, welcome them. I hope to see you there. And you still have a couple of minutes left to join and get the free guide. After that, we'll have to go. Babulisk, the form has only USD. How do I pay with pounds? We only offer dollars, Babioli. So we don't have a form. Usually what cards do, they usually do the exchange rate depending on your bank. Au revoir, Lisa. Okay, I'm going to go now, and I wish you. Okay, Lewis has one last question. Does anyone else use Duolingo? If so, how useful do you think it is? Duolingo is interesting for super basics, but be very, very careful if you're starting to be intermediate, because unfortunately in French, I cannot speak for other languages, but lots of the things they teach are wrong. There's not much more to say. The only thing I can say is that from what I saw, I was a bit shocked by the fact that lots of what they were teaching was wrong. Not everything, but too much of it for me to comfortably recommend their app. I can recommend italki because I've heard very, very good things, but I can hardly recommend Duolingo as an intermediate and advanced level because from what I saw, it's very wrong. And they don't cover spoken French, so anyway, it's a bit different. Okay, so Jen and I are going to go. You can still book a call with her, and you still have 30 minutes to join and get the free guide. Babioli, we don't offer pound payment. We only offer payment in dollar. So that's it. Have a good day, everybody. Bonne journée, bonne soirée, et à bientôt. Au revoir.